perspectives, we're here to inspect it.
Paranormal Perspectives is for the dreamers. It's for those who question the nature of reality and question the reality that's been defined for them by others. It's for those who have experienced things that have caused them to question the nature of their own reality. It's for those who feel alone for the experiences they have, or are simply curious about the world that they haven't quite experienced yet but have heard others speak about. It's about normalising the conversation about the paranormal with people that are from various different backgrounds. We have actors, we have mediums, we have positive influencers, we have office workers, and even a graphic designer like myself, really. It happens to everybody. There's so much about the world that we don't understand yet, let alone understand ourselves. Speaking about our experiences with each other in a very equal place allows us to learn from each other, allows us to gather that data set so we can make our own observations and our own judgments. It's really okay to talk about these things. There's something wonderful going on in the world right now, and has always been for many thousands of years. We are beginning to now tap into that, the nature of consciousness, poltergeist activity, as we previously have described it. Anything paranormal really doesn't exist. It's simply a word that we put upon things that we don't understand, that we're too scared to explore. Here are some clips about things we have spoken about.
Magic is just a higher understanding of nature. So it's only a matter of time before our current paradigm of knowledge, scientific knowledge, catches up to that. So I think it's just so important to be as open-minded as possible. So if I had a sheet of paper and I put a little, and this sheet of paper represents the universe, and I put a little dot on this sheet of paper, which represents what we know, then what's to say there isn't more beyond, you know? And I think it just opens our minds, our hearts to more wonder. And that excites me tremendously.
My foster father obviously wasn't of a spiritual mind at all, was very closed mind of that. Just after he passed away, my sister called me up and she said, "You need to come down to the house now." So I'm like, okay. So I get in my car, go down, and she said, "Dial 1471 on the phone." So I did that. And this was Mum's phone at home, at the family home. And I heard my father, it sounded like he was in an echoey box, and he said, "Ma'am, is you that? Ma'am, is that you that? Stella, is that you that? Oh, bugger." And that was my father off to a T. And I put the phone down and we did it again. And I looked at her and I was like, oh my God, this is really, really freaky. And she was also of not this mind either. My sister said, "That's Dad." And I said, "It definitely is Dad." So we did 141, I think it is, or 147, whatever, to see where the call had come from. There was no number on it. Number unrecognised. And it's just amazing.
Christine's experienced something similar. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, this is the beautiful thing about spirit. They go, right, we've got some technology, so let's use it. And they seem to love the phone.
The gentleman that I was with opened up to me just before we were about to go and let me know that, he was having suicidal thoughts. He was really, really struggling with his father's passing. His father's passing was quite unexpected and quite traumatic for him, and his father was his best friend. And I know that we shouldn't ever, it's like ethical, if a spirit comes through, you don't just pass on a message, you know what I mean? But at this stage, this father came through and he was so panicked about his son. I was like, am I going to say it? Am I not going to say it? So at that moment, I did tell him what his father had told me. And I think it really saved his life, to be honest, because he was like, okay, my father is still around. I can sort out my stuff. And after that, he trusted me a lot more, and we spoke about emotions and that. And after that, he turned to me and said to me, once I was invited to go for intense therapy and I said no, but now I think I'm really ready to go do it. So that story will stick with me forever.
On this Halloween night, let us take a moment just to reflect and to extend our love and support to all who suffered and died as a result of accusations of witchcraft throughout many centuries. They became scapegoats for the ills of society, falsely accused and tragically losing their lives due to dishonesty, greed, jealousy, ignorance, and the superstitions that preyed on the fears of those around them. And this is where the nature of consciousness and what it is, did you have that accident and then start to perceive these things because of the physical damage that had been done to you? Or is it because it woke something up in you that you were able to perceive things that other people couldn't see?
Maybe. I've been questioning for years, and
Those things must always be there then, mustn't they? If you can perceive them, they must always be there. It's just that we can't. It's like we're blind.
I'd see it as an accelerant, a catalyst of sorts, because I wouldn't go to say that some people have it, some people don't have it. So I don't really think that's fair. I think everybody has the equipment. Every single one of us on this planet. It doesn't matter what level of intellectual ability you have, what your background is, what your culture is, what your, your race, your defined race may be, or your identity. It doesn't matter. We have the equipment, and some of us culturally are taught to never tap into that. Some of us do through trauma, are kind of jolted into it. Some of us are born with it already switched on, and that could be through I do believe kind of memories passed down in the family, though, so those abilities are sparked from the very beginning. And some people, are brought into it through their religious experience, because some religions do allow you to tap into that anyway. So some religions do connect to that source, not all, at least not all that I found so far. It seems to be that we do have this ability that hasn't been defined in the scientific world just yet, but we've seen evidence of it throughout history. We don't quite have the technology to accurately replicate it or describe it, but we are beginning to understand this connection that we have.